10, 9, 8, 7, 6. Coming up on main engine start. Main engine start, 6 engines up and running. And liftoff. Liftoff of the Proton rocket and the Zarya control module. The International Space Station is underway. The Proton building up thrust, good roll and pitch program according to flight controllers. The first component of the International Space Station heading toward orbit.
With a total price tag of more than $150 billion, the International Space Station is the largest man-made single-structure construction built in space. With a legacy of over 20 years, it's the largest habitable artificial satellite in the low Earth orbit. Ever wondered why 5 of the world's leading space agencies collaborated to engineer this extravagant space station? And what do astronauts do on the ISS throughout the year? Well, we'll answer all your questions. Welcome to Freelance Blogger. We discuss random propositions. And today's proposition is, what do astronauts do on the ISS? But first, let's understand what is the ISS. What purpose does it serve? And why is it so important for mankind? The ISS is a multinational collaborative project operated by 5 international space agencies, that is, NASA, Roscosmos, Japan Aerospace Exploration Agency, European Space Agency, and Canadian Space Agency. Situated at 220 miles above Earth's surface, where gravity is virtually eliminated, the ISS is made up of 16 pressurized modules, which took more than a decade to assemble. The ISS supports a crew of up to 6 people and has all life support and safety systems to make the ISS a safe and habitable place. Primarily, the ISS is composed of 5 laboratory modules, 6 scientific hardwares, 2 robotic arms, radiators, structural trusses, and photovoltaic solar arrays. Altogether, these modules provide an absolute infrastructure in conducting experiments in microgravity and space environment, allowing astronauts to learn and understand physical and material sciences, human research, biology, biotechnology, space medicine, and collecting Earth and space science data. Research made with this data helps scientists in studying and understanding the challenges for colonization and survival of mankind on planets like Mars. The ISS orbits Earth approximately 16 times a day, which means a day on the ISS is only around 90 minutes, and the crew experiences a sunset or a sunrise every 45 minutes. Don't worry. This won't make astronauts become older 16 times faster than us. The crew on ISS follows the 24-hour Coordinated Universal Time, also known as UTC. Although each astronaut follows their own schedule decided by the mission control, these 24 hours are typically spent by astronauts as 8.5 hours for sleep, 6.5 hours for scheduled tasks, 2.5 hours for required exercise, roughly 2 hours for planning a conference with the mission control to run through the day's schedule, and 4.5 hours for meals, leisure and other activities like digestion. An astronaut's workday is from approximately 6 a.m. to 9:30 p.m. for 5.5 days a week. Astronauts typically wake up at 6 in the morning. They begin their day with common hygiene practices like brushing teeth with swallowable toothpaste, shave, washing hair with rinse-less shampoo, and go to the bathroom. After that, astronauts check the daily schedule on the onboard short-term plan. On the weekends, the crew does house cleaning during this period. Next, blood samples are drawn for analysis later in the day, and a daily conference is conducted with the mission control to make sure everyone knows what is scheduled throughout the day. Later, a regular air quality check is taken. Next comes breakfast, followed by routine exercise. Microgravity causes fluids in the body to rise to the head, which feels like a constant head cold. So every day astronauts have to exercise for 2.5 hours to prevent any bone and muscle loss caused by the minimal strain because of weightlessness. The ISS is equipped with a treadmill, an exercise bike without a seat as you can't sit without gravity, and the Advanced Resistive Exercise Device, which is a weightlifting gym that uses vacuum tubes to work without weights. After exercise, the crew is ready to begin the work, which is to carry out routine maintenance on the station, monitor reboosts, conduct research and work on experiments administered by the mission control, and participate in the human research program. Astronauts aboard the ISS are assigned specific tasks called expeditions, which usually last about 6 months. Besides these jobs, the crew has to update the day's work regularly on the OSTP viewer. Let's take a look at the scientific experiments by categories which the crew performs on the ISS. The loss of buoyancy-driven convection in a microgravity environment allows the study of fundamental phenomena in fluid physics and materials science. In this discipline, the crew has successfully obtained results from a wide range of experiments conducted on flames, fluids, superfluids, metals, alloys, crystals and magnetic materials. Astronauts analyze and test 3D printers and printing materials for their durability. The flame extinguishment experiment, also known as FLEX, is one of those significant experiments conducted on the ISS and since then has gained the attention of several space fans. The crew is continuously studying the effects of prolonged spaceflight on human skeletal muscle, cardiovascular and pulmonary systems, neurological and vestibular systems, human behavior and performance, circulatory system, immune system and integrated physiology. Besides these, astronauts study the effects of radiation doses experienced by the human body in extravehicular activities, and most important, the chromosomal aberrations in blood lymphocytes. With the help of onboard cameras and remote sensing equipments, astronauts collect data about the science of our planet's atmospheric motion and composition, land cover, land use, ocean currents, topography and vegetation, temperatures, precipitation, upper ocean life, and ice on land and sea. In the field of biology, astronauts study protein crystals which provide stronger and safer medications here on Earth. Plant experiments are also carried out on ISS, which give researchers ideas of how to feed astronauts on long-term missions beyond low Earth orbit. Apart from this, the crew study gene expression in mouse tissues to better understand bone, muscle and metabolic diseases and test potential drugs. Cell culture and stem cell experiments are in continuous progress as they are the future of treatment for a wide variety of malignant and non-malignant diseases. The Ecosystem Spaceborne Thermal Radiometer Experiment, also known as EcoStress, is a significant ongoing scientific experiment in which a radiometer mounted on the ISS measures the temperature of plants growing in specific locations on Earth. These measurements enable scientists to learn the effects of events like heat waves and droughts on crops. The crew constantly checks all electronics, pneumatics, hydraulics, mechanical and life support systems. They clean and replace filters and update computer equipments. Similarly, Mission Control on Earth constantly monitors the ISS and sends messages each day through voice or email to assist the crew in performing repairs on the ISS. Astronauts perform spacewalks or extravehicular activities and carry out a number of repairs on the ISS, such as repairing or rewiring power and data cables, installing adapters at the ends of modules, reconfiguring and isolating leaks in station's cooling systems, replacing ammonia and nitrogen tanks from the shuttle's payload bay for the station's cooling system, installing new modules with the help of robotic arms, servicing robotic arms, replace filters, onboard sensors and old batteries, and assist in space shuttle docking. Following exercise and work, the entire crew then meets for lunch in the Zvezda service module. After lunch, astronauts receive a 1-hour break, and then they resume to work. During this period, the crew also checks the cabin's air pressure and does a few more laps on the treadmill. Before the end of the day, tasks are finished, experiments are cleaned, and the station's system performance is checked. By the end of the day, the crew has dinner and has another daily planning conference with the mission control to prepare for the next day. Finally, the crew has free time to get ready for bed and rest for the next busy day ahead. Astronauts sleep by strapping their bodies loosely to the sleeping bags in their sleep stations so that their bodies couldn't float around in the microgravity environment. During sleep, astronauts have reported having dreams and nightmares. Some have even reported snoring in space. Astronauts are allowed to take along their choice of entertainment. They can watch movies, play musical instruments of their choice, communicate with their families via emails or phone calls, surf the web, work out, read books, play games and make educational videos, and raise public awareness. The crew can make video calls once a week to their family. Yet, the most favorite activity of astronauts is looking out from the cupola and admiring the magnificent view of the Earth and the space. There's a lot more that astronauts do upon their return to Earth. But that's a proposition for another video. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to hit the like button if you enjoyed this video. Please leave us a comment if you like us to make a video on a topic of your choice. And be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell so you don't miss out on the new randomly discussed propositions. We'll see you in the next video. Till then, stay safe.